Welcome back to our motivating series with the insightful Larry Donowan. Today, we dive deep into a subject that, at first glance, may seem simplistic, but carries profound implications for our mental well-being and daily success: the power of positive affirmations. Larry, thank you for being with us again.
Thank you, Susan. It's always a pleasure to be here and share these transformative tools with our listeners.
Let's dive right in, Larry. The concept of positive affirmations seems to be everywhere lately, from self-help books to motivational social media posts. But for the skeptics among us, what exactly are positive affirmations, and how do they work?
Great starting point, Susan. In essence, positive affirmations are short, powerful statements that individuals can use to challenge and overcome self-sabotaging and negative thoughts. When repeated regularly and believed in, they start to make positive changes to your mindset and your life. It's rooted in the psychology of retraining our brain, reshaping our thought patterns, and reinforcing our belief in our abilities.
So, it's about changing the narrative we tell ourselves?
Precisely. We all have an ongoing internal dialogue, which for many can lean towards the negative due to past experiences or societal conditioning. Positive affirmations act as a counterbalance, steering our mind towards a constructive rather than destructive pathway.
Intriguing. But how did you, personally, get introduced to this concept, Larry?
That's a good question. My introduction was actually during a challenging phase of my life. I stumbled upon a book that discussed the power of words and thoughts. Initially skeptical, I decided to give it a try, and it was transformative. Not only did I witness a change in my mindset, but I also started seeing tangible shifts in my reality. It piqued my curiosity, leading me to further studies and ultimately to incorporate it into my coaching.
It's incredible to think that words, just by repeating them, can have such a profound impact. And I'm sure many of our listeners are eager to understand more about the science behind it and how they can incorporate it into their own lives.
Absolutely, Susan. And that's the beauty of affirmations, their simplicity combined with depth. As we delve deeper today, I hope our listeners will come away with not only an understanding, but also a set of tools to uplift their lives.
Fantastic! Let's dive deeper into the transformative world of positive affirmations and discover how these simple statements can pave the way for success, growth, and happiness. Larry, I often hear a phrase, "words have power." In the context of positive affirmations, can you elaborate on what this means?
Absolutely, Susan. Words are more than just a combination of letters and sounds. They are the medium through which we express our thoughts, feelings, and perceptions of reality. Each word carries an emotional and psychological weight. When we repeatedly tell ourselves something, be it positive or negative, our brain starts to accept it as truth, which influences our behavior and mindset.
So it's almost like programming our mind?
Precisely. The human brain, especially the subconscious part, doesn't differentiate between reality and imagination. That's why visualizations and affirmations can be so effective. If we feed our minds with positive, uplifting statements, over time, our subconscious begins to align our external reality with those affirmations.
That's a fascinating perspective. So how can one start with affirmations? Is there a set formula?
While there's no strict formula, there are some best practices. Firstly, affirmations should be in the present tense. Instead of saying, "I will be confident," say, "I am confident." This affirms the belief in the now. Secondly, they should be positive and specific. Instead of focusing on what you don't want, focus on what you do want. Lastly, it's essential that the affirmation resonates with you. It should feel right and true to who you are.
And how often should one practice these affirmations?
Consistency is key. It's not about how many times you repeat the affirmation, but how consistently you do it and with what level of emotional intensity. I always suggest integrating affirmations into daily rituals. Maybe in the morning as you brush your teeth during meditation or even while driving. The idea is to make it a part of your routine.
Can you share an example of a transformation you've seen in someone using positive affirmations?
Certainly. One of my clients, let's call her Emily, struggled with self-worth. She had a brilliant mind, but years of negative self-talk had eroded her confidence. We worked on curating a list of affirmations tailored for her. Phrases like, "I am worthy of love and success," I trust in my abilities, and every day, I grow stronger and more confident. Within a couple of months, the shift in her was palpable. She started taking on leadership roles, voicing her opinions, and her personal relationships improved significantly. It was a testament to the power of affirmations.
That's incredibly inspiring, Larry. It just goes to show how shifting our internal dialogue can truly alter our external world.
Absolutely. Our thoughts shape our reality. And with positive affirmations, we have a tool to ensure that the reality we shape is one of growth, positivity, and success.
And for those of our listeners who might be thinking, this sounds great, but it's too good to be true, or have doubts about the effectiveness of affirmations, what would you say?
I understand the skepticism. In fact, I was one of those skeptics. But I would urge them to approach it with an open mind and try it out consistently for a month. The results often speak for themselves. And if they're still unsure, there's a wealth of scientific research now supporting the impact of positive affirmations on the brain's neural pathways.
It's always enlightening talking to you, Larry. As we continue to unpack this topic, I'm eager to dive deeper into the science behind affirmations and explore some hands-on techniques for our listeners to implement. Continuing from where we left off, let's delve deeper into the neuroscience of affirmations. Larry, how do positive affirmations actually work on the brain?
Great question, Susan. At its core, the brain is a creature of habit. It's constantly forming neural pathways based on repeated thoughts and actions. Now, imagine a path in a forest. The more frequently it's traveled, the clearer and more well-defined it becomes. Similarly, when we repeatedly expose our minds to specific thoughts or affirmations, we're essentially strengthening those neural pathways.
So it's like muscle memory, but for the brain?
Exactly. And just like muscles, the more you work on them, the stronger they get. With frequent repetition of positive affirmations, you're actively reinforcing those pathways related to positivity, self-worth, and confidence. Over time, these thoughts become automatic, replacing the old, negative pathways.
It's fascinating how the brain can essentially be rewired through this practice. Are there certain areas of the brain affected more by affirmations?
Yes, in fact, research has shown that positive affirmations activate the brain's reward centers, notably the ventral striatum and the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. These are areas associated with processing positive valuation and self-relevant information. When we engage in affirmations, these areas light up, reinforcing the positive beliefs and feelings associated with the affirmation.
And considering how stress, negativity, or trauma can have detrimental effects on the brain, it's empowering to think we have a tool to counteract or mitigate those effects.
Absolutely. It's worth noting that affirmations aren't a panacea. They're one tool in a larger toolkit for mental and emotional well-being. But their power lies in their simplicity and accessibility. You don't need any special equipment or training. You just need your own voice and belief.
Speaking of belief, Larry, how important is it to genuinely believe in the affirmations we're saying?
Belief is crucial. If you're just mouthing the words without truly feeling or believing them, the impact can be diluted. However, it's also natural to sometimes feel resistance, especially when starting. If your affirmation is, "I am confident," but your inner voice retorts with, "No, you're not," it's essential to acknowledge that resistance, but continue with the practice. Over time, as the neural pathways strengthen, the resistance diminishes.
That's heartening to hear. For our listeners who want to start with affirmations, aside from being consistent, is there anything else they should keep in mind?
Visualization can be a powerful companion to affirmations. When saying your affirmation, try to visualize a scenario where the affirmation is true. For instance, if your affirmation is about confidence, picture yourself speaking confidently in a meeting or nailing a presentation. Engaging multiple senses can deepen the impact of the affirmation.
Wonderful tips, Larry. As we further explore this journey of self-growth and positivity, it's enlightening to understand the science and strategy behind these practices. Up next, we'll be looking into more hands-on techniques and diving into personal stories of transformation. Building on that, Larry, personal stories and testimonials have often highlighted the transformative power of affirmations. Can you share a memorable instance from your coaching career where positive affirmations made a significant difference?
Absolutely, Susan. One of my most memorable experiences was with a young woman named Emma. She had come to me struggling with severe self-doubt stemming from a difficult childhood. Despite being incredibly talented, she always believed she wasn't good enough, a sentiment echoed repeatedly by some of the authority figures in her life.
It's heartbreaking how such deeply ingrained beliefs can hold us back.
Yes, and it was a significant obstacle in Emma's case. We started with understanding her core beliefs about herself. Then, we slowly introduced positive affirmations tailored to counteract each negative belief. At first, she found it challenging, even tearful, to say things like, "I am worthy" or "I am talented."
That initial resistance you spoke about earlier.
Precisely. But she was committed. She paired affirmations with visualization, like we discussed. For her affirmation, "I am successful," she'd visualize herself leading a team meeting, being praised for her work, or achieving milestones. Slowly, she started to not just speak the affirmations, but truly feel them.
That must have been such a transformative journey for her.
Indeed. A few months into our sessions, she got an opportunity to lead a significant project at her workplace. Using her affirmations, she tackled it head on. The positive feedback she received from her peers and superiors was a testament to capabilities, one she had always possessed but had been blind to.
What an inspiring story, Larry. It truly underscores the potential within all of us, just waiting to be unlocked.
That's the thing, Susan. Every one of us has immense potential. Sometimes, all we need are the right tools and a bit of guidance to tap into it. And affirmations, while simple, can be one such powerful tool.
For those who might still be skeptical or feel they might be lying to themselves with affirmations, what would you advise?
That's a common concern. But remember, affirmations aren't about creating a false reality. They're about reshaping your perceptions and beliefs to align more with the truth. Everyone has strengths, talents, and inherent worth. Affirmations simply help reaffirm that truth.
It's all about changing the narrative we tell ourselves.
Exactly. And once that internal narrative changes, the external reality starts to shift in response.
This is so enlightening, Larry. For those eager to delve deeper into the world of affirmations, we'll continue to unpack more strategies, nuances, and success stories in our upcoming segments. Stay tuned. As we draw to the close of this enlightening conversation, Larry, what final advice can you share with our listeners about effectively integrating positive affirmations into their daily routine?
Susan, if there's one takeaway I'd like our listeners to have, it's this: consistency is key. Don't get discouraged if you don't see immediate results. Your subconscious mind has been conditioned over years, and it might take some time to reprogram. So every day, take a moment for yourself. Stand in front of a mirror if you can. Look yourself in the eyes and repeat your affirmations with conviction. Over time, these words will seep into your psyche and begin to shape your reality.
Such a powerful reminder. Transformative change is often a gradual process. The journey is as important as the destination.
Absolutely. And remember, it's okay to evolve your affirmations as you grow and change. What you need to affirm today might differ from what you need to affirm 6 months down the line. It's a dynamic process that reflects your personal journey.
Thank you, Larry, for sharing your wisdom and insights. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you, Susan. I hope our listeners find the strength and self-belief they deserve through the power of positive affirmations. Remember, the words you tell yourself are potent. Make sure they uplift and empower you.
Beautifully said. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us today. We hope you found inspiration and practical advice to harness the transformative power of positive affirmations. Until next time, stay motivated and keep believing in yourself.